something. I should have get a drink of water before I started talking. I'm getting a drink of water. Okay, I just saw the excellent connection come up on the third stream. Why am I seeing nothing though? Why is it showing nothing? Hold on. It says live, but it's got a black screen. Why? Why does it have a black screen? According to this, it's live, but it's there's nothing there. What? Excellent connection, but I don't see anything. Hold on. Does this say it's running? That says it's running. Hold on. Did I get emails? Let's take a look. I silenced my phone this time, so I was that smart. Hold on. Okay, there's... Yeah, that's the main channel. Yeah, this appears to be working. All right, I don't know why it's showing a black screen. Oh, it just changed. Okay, there it is. All right, good, good, good. All right, Instagram got posted, blah, 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 blah. So everything's done. Okay, let's do my enter key jamboree. Enter. 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 How many is this? Enter. That would be 5, 6, 7. Oh. 8. That one never works the first time, but it worked the second time. All right, there we go. So 9. I posted 9 different Discords. Okay, that's fine. And then I was smart enough to preload these other ones. So all I have to do is tap on these really quickly. And then just go to my thing here. Yep, I somewhat did this ahead of time. Or not ahead of time, but I got myself in good shape. Done. That's it. Is posted? Yes. Yes. Perfect. Okay. We're good. So, all right. Audio looks good. Everything seems to be okay. Let me verify my reflector settings. Reflector setting. Reflector. There it is. Let's see. Where? Well, hold on now. What is reflector item 0? Oh, there it is. Took a second. Just had to refresh. Got it. Okay. All right. Let me switch this to multi-stream chat. Let's do a quick test of hello chat. And I verify I can see it on my screen. And I think we are good. It appears. Okay. Wow. Under 3 minutes from hitting the button to ready to go. Excellent. I just got to move my keyboard and shift my... I don't like to put it on the power cord like that. Even though I'm sure it does. It's not going to hurt it. I still don't like doing it. Let me just relocate my iPad. Hold on. My little thing here is shifting. Got it. Okay. Let's take the pencil off. Let's put this here. And this will actually be one where I'm going to do this vertically, so this will be a little different than usual. All right, let's roll that beautiful bean footage, which I believe would be that. There we are. And we can turn that off. And then we should, I think I actually got it smoothly this time, maybe. Streamers who have Streamlab and have gone live can now be fast-tracked for approval to TikTok. I don't know if I'm going to do that. You know what? Because it's off-center, I think I'm going to just do this. Come on, rotate. Yeah, there we go. All right, so now I want to preface this. One thing I have learned since becoming part of the Magic the Gathering artist community, which technically I am, is there is a protocol to things in the Magic artist collector community, which I had no knowledge of before I started doing cards. I say started like I'm still doing it. Before I did the cards, I did. And have since, through some context and different things, have figured out that there are these rules, or at least these generally accepted approaches to how you do things when you're a artist working with the Magic community. And one of them is, and this makes some sense, but I never really thought about it until I encountered it, is the idea that you don't post the finished works until the person who it's commissioned for has seen it. And that sort of makes sense, but I'm also very used to seeing artists working as they're working and being very public about it. So this is now this one, I'm actually okay showing this because this person has not paid yet. And so I don't know whether this will actually become a paid commission or not. So right now it's an idea I'm sketching out. So this person requested that I do an image of Shieldred using the character of Shieldred is sometimes depicted as having a tail, like an appendage. Usually when you see her, she's dead now, but when she was alive within the lore of the game, she was seated within a body, like a biomechanical body that usually looked like a giant kind of beetle-like bug thing with a giant mouth. But in other things, when she's out of it, she has a tail, which I can't really figure out how she moves. Doesn't seem to make a lot of sense, but nonetheless, I have seen the depictions of it. And so this person wanted her to be utilizing her tail. So I came up with this idea where the tail's going to be driven through a adventurer of some kind and impaling him. And this individual liked the sketch, but asked if I could emphasize more body horror based on some new cards that have come out. The new Phyrexia, if I'm pronouncing that correctly, set. Which I didn't know anything about. But it's interesting what they're calling body horror. I would call it lightweight body horror, if I was going to use the term, at least based on the images I've seen. It's certainly not, and I get this, it's because it's for a mainstream audience. So it's certainly not, when I think of body horror, I'm thinking of stuff way beyond what they're showing on these cards. So I said, yeah, sure. So I'm going to be workshopping changing this design to suit the body horror aspect. And so one of the things that I'm probably going to change is her actual body armor, because the new set looks a lot different in how it has things. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to create a white layer in here. So I'm going to do a fill, and I'm going to fade this back a bit, and then I'm going to start working in, well, probably in red, because, well, actually no, I'll work in black pencil, because I want to try to figure out what I'm going to change about her, because I've looked at some of these images of the new Phyrexian stuff. It's neat looking, don't get me wrong, I kind of like it. But it's definitely a lot different than the stuff that I've done up to now. So much of it will be the same, where I'm going to still retain her sharp kind of hand things, like the gauntlets will still be like this, but these are going to be a little different. So I'm trying to see, so I'm just going to workshop this out, I think, in this particular stream, to see what I want to change about her. Because I want her to fit within the set, you know, within what the individual is asking for, but also still kind of retain to some degree what I did with my interpretation of the character. And there's ways to do that. So that's what I'm kind of doing here, is I'm just kind of, because I'm going to change her gauntlets. I'm going to make them look very different than they did, because I want to now expose some of where this, again, this new Phyrexian version of body horror kind of operates within. So I'm going to have these kind of cutouts, and in these cutouts you're going to see like the tendons and the under, you know, the like understructure of the body, while still retaining, you know, this idea of these kind of sectionalized hands. So again, I don't want it to look completely alien to what I did before, but at the same time, I am going to try to incorporate this. I'm going to use red here, at least for now, so I can kind of segment it and see, like, I'm going to have these things, because a lot of it has these kind of ropey tendons going through it. And one thing I do like is a lot of the armor in this new Phyrexian stuff is just white, and that I think it emphasizes the tendons and the red stuff, you know, like the musculature, which I like. I do like that. But like I said, it's body horror in a very specific way. And then, actually, you know what? For the exposed parts, I guess, yeah, I got to figure out what I want to do here, because I think, it's interesting to try to think of how this is going to be. So if I have the shoulder armor like this, it doesn't matter if I go through the chin, I'm going to fix it. And that loops back. So that might be, I might be just doing that in white. It's so interesting to think of doing it this way, because this is just very different from what I've done before for these particular commissions. So yeah, it's kind of like a lot of the stuff has this kind of you know, almost like this, where it's, you know, like roped tendons. I don't know how else to describe it. It doesn't, it doesn't feel like, at least a lot of the ones I've seen are really overly focused on anatomical accuracy, and that's fine, because it's not like I'm really great at that stuff anyway. But yeah, it's just very, very different from what I've always done with these so far. So I'm just trying to figure out, because I kind of like it. I mean, I like the idea of having more. I mean, the Phyrexian stuff, even like Shieldred, there is a very body horror element to all this stuff, so I don't mind it. Like the idea that these are like exposed. I'm going to do way more stuff down there, but I do want to kind of keep her form relatively intact. You know, I don't want to make it like she's suddenly a completely different character. So the interesting part is to incorporate, but even the armor, like I'm trying to figure out how I want to do the armor on her, because I don't think I'm going to use the same segments, not the same way. Yeah, I'm really going to work this out. Like, this is an interesting challenge because it's so different. Because I just figure, okay, if I'm going to do this new version of the character, well, then I'm going to do a new version of the character. You know what I mean? I'm not going to just have one or two things be different. I want this to be significantly, you know, if it's going to be part of this new Phyrexian thing, then I want her to feel like she's part of the new Phyrexian thing. You know what I mean? So yeah, I'm kind of. This is interesting. It's new territory for me, because thus far nobody has really asked for a redesign like this, and so I'm just trying to figure out how that's going to work. So yeah, like I said, I still want the segments in here to kind of be what they were, and it doesn't have to be, you know, completely accurate. But then this would come back, and that would be the end of the gauntlet, the actual, and then based on how that one is, if it's turned sideways, I would say that this comes like this, wraps back, but then in here I will put two big cutouts, kind of something like this and something like that, and then the muscles will go behind that. And then, yeah, that's all going to be tendons. This is really interesting. Like, I'm really trying to work this out in my head on how this is going to function, because this is really different. Yeah, something like this, where it just comes into there to kind of maintain the arm shape to some degree. And then this would be the bicep feeding in. Yeah. Something like that. And then, geez, I'm trying to think of how the muscles would, how would this look? Geez, I might actually have to look up, hold on a minute. I'm trying to, I got to look at some arm muscles to try to figure out how this exactly looks, because this is a little different now. Let me take a look at arm muscles here. Oh, sorry, I got to hit the enter button. Helps to hit the enter button. Let's see. I'm going to look at that, specifically where the elbows are. I want to look at where the elbow like wraps around. Interesting. So it kind of, all right, okay, I got it. To some degree. Again, this doesn't have to be completely accurate, but it's sort of this, where it wraps. Okay. Yeah, I like that. That's good. And then as far as the rest, yeah, it's just, yeah, I'm just looking. Okay, so it wraps around, and then that kind of goes in. Let's see. And then where it meets the shoulder. Yeah, okay. Oh, yeah, that's interesting. All right. Yeah, okay. So it's relatively simple. It's just kind of wrapping like this. You know, and if you've ever seen any of the Hellraiser movies, a lot of this will look familiar, because this is kind of what they did. So, all right, that's easy enough. I just want to make sure there wasn't anything weird or... Oh, sorry, I just realized it froze. Sorry about that. Let me catch it back up real quick. I'll get a drink while that catches itself up. You'll see it in a second. Hold on. There we go. Sorry about that. I didn't realize it had frozen. You didn't miss much. I went from, I think it was zoomed in here, and then, so, okay, now. See, I don't do a lot of exposed muscle anatomy, so this is interesting. I mean, a lot of it is just wrapped. They're just wrapped bands. There's nothing really that complicated here. Okay, well, it really isn't. This is not, yeah, this is pretty simple, to be honest. It's just wrapped red bands. All right, well, I can do that. Yeah, okay. So let me create another layer here, just so that I can kind of keep this. So if it's, hold on now. Oh, you know what? Oh, there we go. Yeah, it just kind of fans into the center. All right. Well, that's easy enough to do. Okay. I mean, I guess I'm just overthinking things sometimes. So, okay. So we'll just fan this out. It kind of wraps down here and then comes in. Yeah, that's easy enough. Well, yeah, no, that's probably right. That's probably right. And they have a separation. There's a small separation that exists like right there. And that comes up. Okay, well, all right. Yeah, okay, not like that. I wasn't looking at what I was doing. Sorry about that. So this would actually have to wrap kind of like this. That looks really weird. Yeah, oh, I see why. I didn't flatten it enough. Basically, this has to follow this line relatively. Yeah, that looks better. Well, it didn't come down far enough. Hold on. I'm just trying to do this while trying to look at two things at once. So it'll be something like that. No, it wouldn't. No, you know what the problem is? I've realized what the problem is. The problem is this one didn't come out far enough. This should really follow this line a lot sharper, come in. And then this one should come. I mean, some of this is going to be covered with armor, so this doesn't all matter. But, you know, I still don't want it to look completely wrong. So this all wraps out like this. And then let me fix this right here just so that these lines are nice and clean. And we'll just wrap that, and we'll wrap that. There we are. And we'll just follow this up. And see, like I said, this is not overly difficult. This is just banded lines. But again, I haven't done a Shieldred like this before, so this is something new for me. Okay, there we go. Oh, let me just make sure I have the multi-stream enabled. Okay, I don't think anybody's saying anything. That's fine. Just making sure. Just want to make sure I'm not missing anything, in case anybody says anything. The chat should pop up on the window, but obviously if I'm looking down at my iPad, I probably wouldn't see you. Okay, so now, interesting. So the head's still going to have armor. So now, what I need is neck muscles. Okay, that's easy enough. Okay, those kind of follow the general lines. That's not hard. So essentially, I'm following more or less what the actual neck muscle is. And that is going to interact, because she is going to have her helmet on. So actually, let me look at a better... That's a better one. Okay, yeah, it's just banded lines going up. Okay. All right. Well, okay, except according to this, which does look correct, it would be something like this. Coming up. And then this would come up. And this is going to meet the helmet somewhere. Probably right there. And then this is going to be going under the armor, but still, let's put it in there. Actually, wait. No. Where's her neck? No. That doesn't go there. That would actually go in here. But you're barely going to see any of that. Okay. And then, as far as the actual neck muscles, this is fascinating. I mean, I'm going by human anatomy here. Which, you know, these aren't... I don't think these are supposed to be human beings. I don't actually know what Phyrexians are supposed to be. Sorry, I don't know the lore well enough. But it's fascinating to consider that I'm using human anatomy for non-human forms. Possibly. I don't care. It's fine. Okay. All right. And then the neck muscle, then I get whatever these muscles are called, which if Mr. Pruitt would hear, I'm sure he could tell me, but I don't know. So we'll put these here. And we'll fan those into there. Traps? I don't think those are traps. I don't know. I don't know muscles. Sorry. I don't know what they're called. Okay, so, all right. So, yeah. This is, wow, boy, this is so odd. Odd because I haven't done this before. So I'm really just kind of figuring this out on the fly. And then as far as muscles under there, as far as under here, these would just kind of wrap in like this. Okay. And then I got to figure out what the armor's going to look like. Because I think I'm going to do the armor differently. To some degree, anyway. Man. Let me look up some of these new Phyrexian things. New Phyrexia. That's interesting for sure. Here it is. Here's the magic page on it. New Phyrexia. Huh. On a world of metal. Interesting. Okay. There's no images. Can you show me the images? Alright, here we go. All will be one. Let's see. Yeah, a lot of this is white and deep red. But you know what? Actually, the armors I'm seeing are still very similar. Yeah, a lot of it is they've just like ripped people's arms off and used white and red, which is a beautiful color scheme. It's beautiful. I mean, I love the coloring. So I'm actually really interested to make white armor. But yeah, I guess I don't really have to modify her armor all that much. I'm gonna do something. I'm gonna try this. I want to try. You know what? Let me turn the reds off for a minute. Turn the red off. I'm gonna try modifying her armor and making it more like what some of this new Phyrexian stuff is. Actually, let me go look at that again. This is interesting because yeah, I'm trying to. Oh wow, they have some of the armor is actually ridged too. Yeah. A lot of sharp lines. Oh, there's a lot of sharp lines. Oh yeah, and their gauntlets. Okay. So yeah, nothing I'm doing here is. And he did mention the black oil, which I can just drape this thing in black oil. That's easy enough. I can do that whenever. But yeah, I'm kind of interested to try to do something like this. That is more in line with what the new Phyrexian stuff is. See, like that. That's kind of in line with what the armor that they're using now is. And maybe... Yeah, no, I like that. That's good. I'm going to try not to overthink it too much yet. A lot of the stuff in that new one is kind of like connected ridges. So let's say it comes down like sharply and then sort of banks over here and then arcs up again with like sharp lines, sort of. It's going to bank under. I'll actually do that because it's different layers. Right? This is a different layer, isn't it? Yeah, it is. No. That's not right. I know what I want to do. Oh, whoops. Come back. Go back to... Oh, I want you to clear the layer. All right, that's what I was trying to do. So what I want is this to bank like this. Make it look more like a rib... Okay, I gotta be careful here because I have to mimic whatever this is on the other side, so I have to kind of pay attention to what I'm doing. So something like that. Now, mimicking that here. Okay. And then it arcs. But here you're going to see more of it because you can see more of it, whereas on that side you really can't. There, I didn't like that. Oh, damn it, the whole thing. Go back. I just didn't like this part. Let me redo this part. Because I want that to have that sharp edge like the other one does. Or sharp-ish. There we go. Something like that. And then because of those lines there, I think I need to have holes here. And a hole here. Yeah, I don't mind that. That actually looks all right to me. And it's going through that top piece because it's going to be under it. So it will actually be more like that and that. So it's going to go under that piece. Yeah. Yeah, I'm okay with that. This is interesting doing this way. And then down here, I'm going to still keep this basic thing that she had on her original armor, but it's going to sweep down, and then it has to come up and be like that. Come down. Yep. It's a, well, it doesn't really matter. Let me just see the line of that. Yeah, that line's okay. It's a little wonky down here. I can fix that because I'm trying to follow the line of the body, so it would actually be more like this, and then probably there. That's why I'm doing this in sketch form, so it really doesn't matter. And then, okay. And again, I kind of like the idea of having these holes in it, so that you can see some of the stuff through it. Like you'll just see some of these red bands through it. Yeah, I'm not hating this. I'm not. This is actually really interesting. To redesign. Her headpiece is going to be the same. It's just going to be white, but it's going to be the same. And then I don't know what I'm going to do with her face. I may do a bunch of lines, like something with her face. I don't know. I haven't figured that part out yet. I'm not that far. But this is interesting doing this like this so far. Because, yeah, this is fascinating. Redesigning it like this. So if that's on the side, no, that part's okay. Well, yeah, I have to I have to redo this gauntlet over here. I don't like how these are uneven. So we're gonna redo these really quick. Still gonna have the open spaces because I like it on the other one, but they're gonna be even. I don't like them being uneven. It's bugging me. So we'll make these even so that they're basically the same, but just a little bit there. Come up, and then a little bit there. There we go. That's better to me than. Although it's too far in now. Hold on a minute. These are too far up. These have to be shorter. Like that and like that. And then, yeah, that I can live with that. Okay, and this is a little bit off too. So let me fix this. This is coming in a little too far, so I just have to fix that. Because, I have to cough. Let me mute this really quick. Ooh, I did not want to cough in the mic. Because you can see over here that it's sort of following that outer line. So I want to have this follow the outer line as well. Just a little bit of a modification, but just to make it look more like it's following the body, because I'm going to have line work in there and stuff too. Okay, so now... All right, let me do another layer. I don't have to do much with her headpiece. The headpiece is basically going to be like this. Except it won't have eyes, because she doesn't have eyes. So that will be different. And... sorry, I lost myself in there for a minute, because there's another shape that's very similar to this shape, so I couldn't tell what I was lining up to, and I got it. This is... Okay, well, it has to be sharper than that. This has to look sharp. Like that. There we go. But yeah, doing this in white will be really interesting, because I haven't done that before. But this will largely be the same. So we'll have this arc up. Here we are. Have this arc up. That might straighten it. Oh, it didn't. Good. And then this is going to be essentially the same. And this will link up with this. There we go. So yeah, that's going to be... Yeah, this is going to be so different. So different. Which isn't bad. It's just I'm just wrapping my head around it, because I've drawn her a certain way for so long that doing this different version is just really, really strange. And I'm going to just do like what I originally planned with this, which is these big chunks of kind of what would be called on a bug a carapace or something like that. I'm probably mispronouncing that. But these segmented parts that are going to go down and then wrap around, these are all be different segments. But now, because I'm going to do the new Phyrexian model, each of these segments will have space, which was not my original plan, to have exposed parts, like the the tendons and whatever I end up making the tail things. But this is all going to be and I might do something where like these tendons come out and attach to things, because I see a lot of that in the images that I've seen. There's a lot of that stuff in there. I don't quite know yet, because I'm literally, I mean, I've thought a little bit about this today, but not much. So I don't like that one though. Yeah, that's gonna get updated. It's too bulbous. It doesn't look right. I don't care for that, so we're gonna redo that. But yeah, I really haven't thought much about it. Because he sent me the email, I want to say early this morning, and that's really kind of, I went, oh, okay, well. But as far as modifying it this much, I thought I might just do small stuff, but, if I'm gonna mess with this thing, then I might as well mess with it, and see what I can do. And these all don't have to be identical either. I don't have to make all these pieces the same. So they're going to have to bend and flex because the body is bending and flexing. So let's see, something like this. Of course, I didn't draw the line through there, so it's making it a little tough for me to figure out where anything is, but that's all right. I don't want it to be completely sharp, though. I want it, yeah. So let me just go down here and put a line that's going to follow through, just so I have something to trace. Or track, I guess would be a better word, because it's going to have to wrap around. All right, let's see. So now I have a line to go against at least. Yeah, because I don't mind that having the curve to it, but I don't really want to make it just completely sharp. So something like that. Yeah, it's a little weird to try to bend this stuff. Actually, I don't like that. What I think this needs to be is more like this. Eesh, okay, hold on. That's sweeping way too far. Something like that. That then can meet up there. You don't have to see all of it either. Yeah, it's interesting. I literally could just have it disappear straight down and then have it coming back up, which might be a better idea now that I look at it. In fact, that is exactly what I'm going to do. I don't like the way it's bending, so rather than try to make it do something it's not good at doing, that's all it's in that layer. All right, we're going to clear that out. We're going to just have this line come straight down. And then down here, it is going to sweep up and come back up to this. And it's going to look better, because at least then the arc makes more sense. Yep, that's where it's going to be. I got it. That's going to look a lot better. I am very confident in saying that this is going to look a lot better, where it's just going, okay, well, not when I do that. It was going to look a lot better before I did that. You know why? I know why. Because I need to have the column. I need the column to guide me. Doing it just by eyeball with all this line work in here is not going to work. So when you have a guide, it's a lot easier. That way you have something to kind of go against. And see, now I can come up like this, and then sweep out, and then come down to meet that line, and then come up like this, and have this come down and meet that. Yeah, see, now it's going to go through the... Wait, did it... Oh, it's still going. Still going. Okay, just making sure. It looked like it disappeared, but or froze, but it didn't. Actually, you know what the only problem with that is? Now that's too small. So we'll just fix that really easily. I don't want to redo the whole thing, because I actually like the positioning. It just needs to come down. Well, okay. That. All right. It needs to come down and then sweep in. Yeah, it's better. Yeah, just make it a little bigger. And then, okay, so on this side now, I need to have the 2 columns. So I need this, and it has to shrink down, which is fine. So it needs that. So see, that's a lot more. It has more action to it too. It feels like it's more. There's more motion to it in that way than there was in the other way. Let's go ahead and make a new layer for that. All right. So this now we're on the back of the tail. So what do I want the back to look like? I don't think I just want to do the same thing. The back could be sharper. So let's just see. So the back can really come in sharp and then come out to that kind of, thing like that. So you're seeing that front part, but the back is going to be sharper. I mean, it's basically the same, don't get me wrong. It's not radically different, but I can have it come up like this with the sharp thing and then come in and have it come up and then have that sharp bit and then come in. Okay, well, I kind of screwed that up, so I'm going to fix that. Easy to fix, just erase. Where is my center line? Well, I kind of didn't commit to one. That's great. There we go. I mean, it is pretty much the same, but oh, you know what? I know how I can make it different. I don't know. Go back to that. That's fine. We can make this like have a sharp incline or an indent like that, and then that'll give it a little bit of visual difference. So that'll indicate you're in the back, more or less. You'll know that this is the back piece. I cannot believe I didn't put a center line. Jeez. Hold on, I'm just going to do one now. I'll just make this, I guess, extra bold, and then I'm going to know what my center line is. There it is, right there. And then there's going to be a part where these stop, and then we go into the barbs of the actual tail blades, or whatever you want to call it, which I'll have to work out. Okay, now I know what my center line is, and I can come out like this. See how much easier it is when you actually have something to go to. Well, more or less. Okay, dive that in. Yeah. Yep. And we'll do one more of those before we go into the what's the word for it? The tail blade or whatever I'm going to call it. Yeah, okay. So now this is going to be the actual tail blade, this part here. So I think for that, I don't think I'm going to overthink that too much. I'm basically going to do some rings, more or less. Some rings like that. Okay, well, hold on a minute. They have to look gradual. They have to look like they are actually getting smaller, but not suddenly smaller out of nowhere. They have to have a flow to their reduction in size. And they're going to have spikes and stuff in a minute. I'm just doing this to have this, right? And then I'm not worried about what that one looks like because you're not going to see most of that one. And they should, you know what? They should get smaller too. So actually, I do care what that one looks like because these should get smaller as they get towards the end. All right, not that much smaller yet. And there's a really much easier way of doing this than I'm doing, which I'm going to show you right now. Just to put a new layer, just so that I can do this a little bit easier. There are times where it pays to make things easier on yourself, which is duplicate it, move it up, shrink it slightly, and just stack it. Because honestly, this is just a sketch. I'll be drawing this at some point, but this makes it look more even. And I would like it to look somewhat even. See? See how much easier that is? And then that's probably good. And then we got to do the actual, kind of like the sharp tail bit here. There we are. So let's do a new layer. How do I want a barb on the end of a tail to look? Huh. Not something I think about very often. Okay, good, still. I guess we'll do it. That's a really interesting question. Well, first thing is, let's get the actual barb here. And this should be sharp, because it is going through a person. And then we'll have like spikes coming out of these, because that's not going to feel great when it goes through you. Okay, that looks like not a spike. That looked like a nub. Can't look like a nub. That's bad enough right there. You really don't even need more, but just to, you know, emphasize, we'll have some kind of, there we go. We'll do the kind of traditional bee stinger thing here. It's a classic. Works. Don't have to reinvent the wheel on everything. Especially when this is the first time I've done a version of Shieldred that is this radically different than all the other ones I've done. So I'm not gonna beat myself too much up trying to make things look radically different than they used to. Oh, that's right, the bar wouldn't. Actually, you know what? It would be. The end of the barb is going to be like blackened. The rest of it is going to be like ropey and organic with like muscle tendon type stuff. Yeah. But the actual end of the barb is going to be like a sharp, bony thing. Of course, these will probably all be some variation of white, which is just going to look so odd on her. Because I'm just so used to her being dark and red. But you know what? It's fun to play around with things. I mean, I'm liking doing this differently. It's just so different. It's so different. For me. Okay, so let's do this. And let's see. Yeah, because the end tip is going to be black. The part that's through the guy will be blackened. But the rest of it is going to be kind of this, I don't want to say bubbling, but this kind of organic, bumpy, muscly thing. Yeah, like that. So we're just gonna, I'm just doing this to, I mean, I still have to show this to the person who's commissioning it and make sure that they're digging this, because for all I know, they need something completely different. Or this might be too big of a change. I don't know. This person might come back and say, okay, that's a lot different. I just meant maybe put some white armor on her. I don't say that as me saying that person doesn't have any imagination, but sometimes people, I'm deviating, I feel like, a lot with this design. Maybe I'm not. Maybe this person will come back and say, yeah, well, it's not much of a change, but, you know, you did it. I don't know. It's very hard to judge. Okay, those lines don't look good at all, so we have to fix that. It's very hard to, oh, that's why, because that one's way, oh, yeah, oh, okay, I see what I did wrong here. That's got to go wider than that. It's got to be like that. It's hard to tell. You know, when people say they want certain things, they don't always necessarily know what that's going to look like. So this person might come back and say, yeah, you know what, that's a little too different, because now I don't know that it looks like the Shieldred that I know, which it certainly doesn't. I'm essentially, because she is, as far as I know, still dead in the current continuity, which kind of sucks. I mean, I love the fact I got to draw the character. It's just kind of sucks that she's dead. But for all I know, they plan to bring her back. And she might look something like this. I don't know. I have no insider information, so I don't know. Yeah, so that'll be the redness of that. And probably, you know, in the actual drawing, I'll do more. I'll have more of this as opposed to just this. See, and just run these lines through everything, and just to give it that kind of ripped muscle look type of thing. And my lines are kind of intersecting, and that's okay. I'm not going to worry about it for this, because this is just a sketch, so it doesn't have to look perfect. But that's more or less kind of what I'm going for here, and that's going to be the same for this. So this is going to come down like here, and this will come down through here, and then I'm going to put those legs in too, although probably not on this stream. I will probably work more on this on the next one, because we're already at 45 minutes now. Oh man, it froze again. I'm sorry. Hold on, you didn't see all the stuff I'm doing. I've got to figure out some way of keeping track of that better than just occasionally looking up. Sorry about that. There we go. Yeah, you can see I've done quite a bit since the thing froze. But it's really annoying. It keeps freezing. tell you, trade one problem for another sometimes, because now I've got a very nice stable stream as far as my system's not just putting itself to sleep or crashing or not being able to stream to 3 places at once. It can now, and apparently you can add TikTok to it, which I don't know. I don't know about that, gang. I don't know. I don't know if I want to mess with that. That might be a bit much, but I don't know yet. Yeah, so we'll see what the response is to this. But I'm going to keep going with this, because even if, I don't know, I mean, you know, this person suggested this, so I have a hunch that they're going to like it. Because I am definitely using the cues from New Phyrexia for this. I'm not just generating this out of nowhere. I'm trying to not mimic necessarily, but I don't want it to look completely different. If this person likes the New Phyrexia stuff, and I'll say I like it too from what I've seen, I don't want to go completely off the reservation with it. I want to keep it somewhat, you know, actually, you know what? I don't know if, geez, I just had a thought. I don't know. Hold on a minute. I have to look at something. I don't know if saying off the reservation is one of those things that's kind of bad now. It might be. As I said it, I'm like, wait a minute. I don't know if that's something you're supposed to be saying anymore. I understand. Things change. Off the reservation. Oh, here we go. There was actually something. Oh, wow. This is from 10 years ago? Oh, man. Is this considered... let's see. Wow. Wow. That's... Huh. Man. Okay. Then I'm not going to say it anymore. Because I actually did think about it as I said it. I'm like, okay, that's a very specific term. So, you know what? I just have to learn not to say it anymore. So, I don't want to go way off the beaten path. There we go. Similar phrase that has the same effect. With this. And you know what? That's what I just did there. I know some people will bristle at that and they'll say, oh, really? We have to be so sensitive about things that you can't just say something that you said casually? Well, you can still say it. But it's very easy for me not to. I don't really care. Because I had another phrase I was able to slot into there so easily that what's the difference? So yeah, I don't know how much of a deviation from that or how similar or whatever I should. So I'm sticking within the basics of it. And I also do like it. Like I said, I like the color scheme. There's a lot about the New Phyrexia stuff which I knew nothing about because I don't play Magic. So I don't know. You know, I suppose I should be keeping better track of these things, maybe. But at the same time, I don't know. Maybe I should, maybe I shouldn't. I'm just going to block this stuff out. Just so that I have a rough idea of where, even though I'd be able to figure it out, it can get confusing with all these lines. So I'm just very, very quickly just erasing the big spots here, just to kind of break it up a little bit, and you can see where it's going to go. Oh yeah, that'll work. Do that. Do that, because yeah, that white-red, I've always been a big fan of what I call the NASA color scheme, which is that white-red. If you look at NASA, like the old-style NASA logo. I love the old NASA logo, too, the worm, what they call the worm font. That thing is gorgeous. But yeah, the NASA white and reds, always like that color scheme. Really, really do. So that the New Phyrexia colors, I like them. I like them. They look good to me. And this is essentially what their version of body horror is something like this. But I like it. I mean, it's letting me play around a little bit and do some different things. And that's not bad. It's kind of fun to stretch a bit with this stuff. And then, yeah, I got to figure out, like, I want to have this thing coming up, and there's going to be, like, and especially with the body horror thing, this makes a lot of sense. Like, have this look like a very organic kind of bone appendage that comes off of here. That almost looks like a growth, which also means they don't all have to look the same. So I can have this thing like knobbing off of here, and then, oh, it's up there. I see where I did it. So it'll come up here, and then that'll be the bone kind of cover. Very, very like David Cronenberg looking thing, where the bone doesn't even look right, but it's got this sharp, jagged edge. it comes off and it hooks into there. So yeah, there's lots of, okay, good, it's still moving. There's a lot of potential in doing it this way. It lets me do it a lot more smoothly, because the old version of Shellder was a little smoother, you know, because it was more like insect shells, so it was less. And what I should do with this is this should round into there, so I'm just correcting that, because that's how it should look. That should look a little bit like it's going back, not forward. So it should look like a joint, where see this thing is coming out of, it's like hooking in, and then again this is going to come off, and it's going to be this sharp, jagged edge. And then I'll put holes in some of this stuff, like a little hole in the bone there, so it looks like it's, you know, been damaged at times and worn. So yeah, I mean, I'm kind of, the more I'm doing this, the more I'm warming up to this idea of how to do it, which is great. So see, you can even have a bone that comes out like this, and it's going to have like sort of mimicking ridges to the body, and then that comes up to here. Oh yeah, this has potential, because the more I'm kind of doing it, the more I'm liking it. Although I do want to fix, this needs to be bigger, but I'm gonna actually do more like a Alien Queen kind of edge to it, where see, like the fan of the crown that she had, if you ever seen the movie Aliens. Yeah, see, those blades should be bigger because they're closer, and the other ones are going to be smaller and pushed farther back. No, this is going to be good if I don't screw it up. If I don't screw it up, this is going to be good. I may actually have some things coming out of her back. I may really go way off from the original design on this and see what I want to do. Yeah. Yeah, no, I'm liking where this is pulling me. So this is what's great about doing stuff like this too, is I really had no plan starting this stream what this was going to look like. I knew in general that I was going to do the tendons thing, like the red lines, but redesigning the armor and all, I really didn't know what that was going to be like. And now I'm really starting to groove on it, where I like a lot of what's going on here. So yeah. And then I just gotta figure out. I gotta figure out a few more things, but in general, I have a plan for this. And then as far as the background and everything, I just gotta work that out. But that's not a problem. That I can figure out. Yeah. Okay. Well, where are we at? We are at 52 minutes. Let's do one more pair of legs, shall we? Let's do one more of these legs coming out. And I really don't want them to all look the same. I want them to have some style to them. But these should be thinner because they are, again, kind of pushed back. Whereas these should be way up. And we'll just do something like that. And kind of, we're going to really curve that one and give it like a sickle look to it. Yeah, there we go. Fan that up into there. And we'll do a nice sharp couple of holes in here. And we can even have like another joint there. It's not going to hurt anything. You know, where like there's a little thing that comes down. That I can mess with. That could be a hole, that could be a joint. It doesn't matter. You know, but like this could be a growth right there that kind of hinges it onto there. Well, not like that. It would be more like this on this side. Actually, you might not even see it. So I'm not even going to bother with that. You wouldn't see it because it'd be on the front. But see what I mean? That's fun. That's fun. Yeah, this has a lot. Oh, it froze. Sorry. Let me give you the full effect before I finish off here for the evening. At least I saw that. 1 second. It should pop back. And you'll be able to see where she is. And I'm just waiting for it here. There we go. Yeah, so see, that's where we are. That's where we are. Yeah, you know what? That is a good place to bring this stream. I'm sorry about how this is going to snap in. I really, really got to figure that out. There's got to be a way. I keep forgetting to look. There's got to be a way. But yeah, we're going to leave it there for tonight. Really, really happy with where this is going. When he first said, I assume, well, when this person, I shouldn't say, I don't know. When this person first said, oh, can you do it more like this? I was kind of like, oh, geez, I don't know, can I? You know, because I don't want to take 3 years to do it either. I want to do it, you know, when somebody commissions something, I like to have it to them within a month. Ideally, I usually can do it faster, but I didn't want to take forever. I'm sitting there going, man, trying to redesign this when I'm so used to, oh, I have to cough really quick, hold on. When I'm so used to doing it a certain way, it might take me a while. So I was actually kind of dreading doing this. I thought maybe I shouldn't do the stream of it because I thought this might go really badly or I might get stuck. You know, I really didn't. I don't necessarily. I think sometimes there's an idea that artists kind of can just pull ideas out. And don't get me wrong, it does happen. There have been times where I've hit an idea right away. It's rare, but it has happened. But more often it's exactly what you just saw, where I'm just sitting there going, okay, how am I going to make this work? Okay, let me look at a reference image. Let me get, you know, let me see how the muscles are laid out. Maybe that provides a source of inspiration, which in this case I think it did. And that's how I work at things, is trying to see, okay, what idea can I pull from, not necessarily nature, a lot of people do that, but what can I look at and use that as at least a basis to say, okay, I want to do things this way. And the combination of that was the new Phyrexia stuff and with the, specifically like the color scheme almost, and then the muscles, and it just started to work together. So yeah, I'm happy with where it is. So thank you very much because somebody's been here the whole time, so whoever that is, thank you very much for sticking around as I kind of needed, not needed with the N-E-E-D-E-D, but needed like K-N-E-A-D-E-D, like dough, as I needed my brain trying to figure out what exactly I was going to do. But I think I have a good approach, and I kind of like it. The fact that I'm excited about it is a big plus. I've done stuff where I'm like, okay, this is fine. And you still put in the effort. It's not like I've done half jobs on stuff just because it didn't necessarily grab me, but it is definitely better if something is genuinely exciting and you want to do it. It does drive you to want to, you know, put forth a little bit of extra time and apply a little bit of extra thinking to it. So there is a benefit to really liking what you're doing. Doesn't always happen. Like I said, going into this, I wasn't sure. I really wasn't sure. But now I'm kind of excited to keep working on it. So I probably will work on it some more this weekend. So in the next stream, it might be quite a bit further. Because also, like I said, I want to make this person wait forever. So I'm going to get a little bit more work done on that. Anyway, on that note, this is a good place to bring the stream to a close. We're right up against the hour, so that's perfect. So again, thank you for stopping by. Whether it's live or later, doesn't matter to me. I'm just genuinely appreciative. Somebody, I was watching a stream of somebody and they said, oh, I'm right on the edge of 5,000 subscribers. And I thought, wow, 5,000 subscribers. I can't even imagine. I can't imagine that number of people subscribing to anything I do. It's crazy to even think about. So I appreciate every single individual one. And honestly, the YouTube channels have been steadily growing, slowly, which I'm fine with. I would rather have it slowly grow than if suddenly 10,000 people subscribed. I wouldn't believe that number. I'd say, no, that's a bot farm, or it's some unnatural spike and those people are going to bleed off. I wouldn't trust those numbers at all. So the fact that there's just this slow uptick that's been happening, that's great. That's great. And the fact that's been happening over time is better for me because it would hopefully indicate that people are enjoying what I'm doing. Whereas again, a spike could be one episode and then they never come back, they never watch it again, or they realize they didn't like it. Whereas people just kind of slowly accumulating, I think that's a good sign. But in any case, whatever. Ooh, I didn't really yawn until just now. So that's great because I was into this thing. You could tell I was I mean, not that I'm not the other times, but I was really thinking so much I don't think my brain had room to yawn because I was thinking. Anyway, I'm just going to ramble on here, and it's going to be a 2-hour stream, and the hour is going to be just me talking about nothing for a while. So I will just shut up now and say again, thanks for stopping by. whenever you do, and go experience some more creativity somewhere else. Go forth from here, whether it's Stream or watching a video later. Go find somebody else. Go find a source of inspiration in some way. Find something you can do creatively. It doesn't have to be something big. It doesn't have to be something complicated. Creativity is such a wonderfully malleable thing where it can come in large forms. I mean, I've seen people doing huge mural paintings, which I can't even imagine doing, all the way down to the smallest thing. There's different artists who whittle literal pencils. They take a pencil and whittle little figures into a pencil. Imagine working that small. I can't, but I've seen it. So creativity takes any form. It doesn't have to be something grandiose and huge. It can be something as small as drawing a birthday card for somebody. Literally just drawing an animal on a birthday card for a child or a friend of yours. That's still something. Think about that. If you buy cards a lot, which are expensive, buy a bunch of blank cards and draw things in them. They're more individualized. People will actually keep them. You know, they're not just stamped out in a factory somewhere where you know there's another 1,000 of those cards floating around that are exactly the same as yours. You draw something, nobody else is going to have that. And, you know, unless you're literally tracing a pattern, but most people wouldn't do that. So whatever you draw, even if it's imperfect, is something from you. And whoever gets that will probably treasure it more than, again, just whatever Hallmark card somebody sends to them. Thought's always nice, but there's just something special about knowing that somebody made something, took the time, even if it's 5 minutes, to make something special for you. So go find something creative to either experience or ideally do, because it is good for your mind, your body, and your soul. And on that note, now that I'm over an hour, I'm just going to shut up, say once again, thank you for coming by, and until the next